reversal drug for an overdose. And if someone is going to actively use, we like to prepare them and give them a little explanation of how to use the Narcan and what it does. Because a lot of people are not comfortable with calling the police.
I probably have at least 4 in my bag.
I have a car full.
Hi. Hey.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Janice.
This is our program, and this is our contact information on here. I'm Rebecca, and that's Janice. If we can ever support you.
People can and do recover from substance use disorder. In recovery, people can thrive and contribute to their families, communities, and others seeking and in recovery. Listen as Rebecca shares the story of her recovery journey and notice how the words you use and the ways to react can make a difference to people seeking recovery.
My name is Rebecca Zwicker, and I'm a certified addiction recovery coach. I have a nonprofit called Community Program for Addiction Recovery, and I'm the coordinator, co-founder, and currently in partnership with the Worcester Police Department called the Worcester Program for Addiction Recovery, and we are an addiction recovery outreach program. We do preventative outreach in high-risk areas. Do you know if he's willing to go into treatment? This is my passion to do what I do for work. And what is his name? Supporting others. I think back to multiple arrests, incarcerations, detoxes, programs, and I really wish that I had someone there next to me to support me in a non-judgmental, compassionate way. I was going through a divorce, and I ended up getting in a car accident and getting prescribed Oxycontin, which in the end led to a heroin addiction. I used to see people actively using, homeless, active addiction out on the street. I never thought that would become my story, and that became my story. 12 years of active addiction, from a pill addiction and buying them out on the street to selling my house, losing custody of my children, multiple arrests, in and out of the criminal justice system, in and out of jail, 150 detoxes, and just it was a cycle that I was stuck in for 12 years. When myself and Officer Bianculli go out into the community, into high-risk areas, majority of the individuals I was actively using with, so I have a good rapport with them, or they know me because maybe they were in recovery at some point. And what I do is I'll introduce them to Officer Bianculli, and that really opens the door once they have an opportunity to see what she's all about. We're breaking the stigma with police and individuals who are actively using, and with individuals who are actively using with police, because it goes both ways.
Those who really want it, if they take it serious.
And if it's the first time or the 15th time, we're going to treat them the same. Yeah, I have a quarry, and now I have an office. We also are part of in-service training with the Worcester Police Department in doing education on addiction and recovery, and I share my personal story, part of that, and that includes my 6 arrest mugshots with the Worcester Police.
I met Rebecca Zwicker, as I meet so many people, sitting as a judge. She was in crisis. She was in allegedly a violation of Massachusetts general laws. You know, like every other person, I want to think that what I'm doing is working. That's hard with substance abuse disorder. The numbers are staggeringly slanted against success. At the time that I sort of got involved with her and locked her up, and I did lock her up a couple of times, she was really at crisis, and we might have lost her. And so what she's done for me, what Rebecca and so many other people, is reaffirm my commitment, which is shared by my colleagues, to recognize that while we have a tremendous volume, the district court has the highest volume of numbers of people coming through, my court, that every person that comes through is a person, and every person has a story, and that story can be shaped by somebody or something. And Rebecca reminds me of that every day.
Harm reduction recognizes that relapse may be part of the process. It is not required, but frequently it will happen. And not to see relapse as a failure, but rather a learning opportunity. And how can we continue to support you, to get you back into recovery again.
One of the facilities I checked into 69 times. When I first checked in, it was with a pill addiction, and the last time was with a IV heroin addiction. And, I continued to go back to that one place because they always welcome me back.
I think working with the client to sort of meeting them where they're at and asking the client where they want to go. Instead of you doing the service plan for them, the client should be involved with it.
I can remember going into other facilities and they would say, "Oh, why are you back again? How come you didn't follow the plan that we had? We came up with a plan. Rebecca, you have to go to 90 meetings in 90 days." And being told what I had to do, automatically I became defensive, hand on the hip, and said, "You don't even know me. Like, who are you to tell me what I have to do?"
I think the advice I have for providers that are suffering from burnout, because people are re-entering their program multiple times, is that recovery is possible. They have come back to the program for a reason, and this may be the one time that they get it right. It may not. There may be multiple other times, but they're still seeking treatment. There is still hope. It is going to be on the client's timeline and not the provider's timeline. And as long as they're entering treatment, it means that there's some motivation there for them to gain recovery. It may not be the first time, may not be the 5th time, it may not be the 20th time. And to greet them with, "Hey, I'm glad you're back, welcome back."
When someone has a setback in their recovery process, like, compassionate care goes a long way. They never judged me. They always, would welcome me with open arms and were willing to help me and just, gave me a hug and said, "We believe in you. You can do this." Every other week I would check in and they would always just show me that love and compassion and tell me I'm worth it.